Hi, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I love the episode that you're about to listen to. This is one of the riffs that is in my new offer coming out. I'm not going to drop any details yet, but it's a really, really good little mini training and protocol that we have in there. This whole topic is basically if you're in a season where going after what you want feels a little bit heavy or hard, or you're really lacking the motivation, or you feel like you just can't seem to juggle as much as everyone else, or you're getting a little more burned out, or you're just in one of those plateaus. And that happens so often where you're not quite at the place where you have the results yet. You maybe have some momentum, but you're just in this plateau. If if that's what you're going through, or it doesn't feel fun, you're just not having this really, really good time, you're not having a ton of fun, you don't feel like you're in this energy of like, oh my God, I can achieve anything. I'm having so much fun. It doesn't even matter what happens because I'm so in love with the process. If that is not what you're in, this episode is really great for you. And let me say too, before you listen to this, if you are someone who you want to increase your confidence, you want to increase your discipline, my podcast has been speaking to you and you're like, oh man, every single episode, she's really talking to me and solving my problems and really helping me out, then I want you to keep your eye out for something that's coming. I am basically getting rid of all my offers I've had for years, and it feels like such a risk, but it also makes so much sense. It's a very calm decision. And I'm releasing something new, and I'm not going to give a ton of details on it yet, but something's coming. And it's the best thing I've ever done. The reason that I am doing this is because I have to. It feels like I can't not do it. It is something that feels like it's going to be so good for you guys, and it's going to be so helpful, and it's going to be just the best thing I've done in my business and the best thing for you guys. So anyway, without further ado, if you are someone who you've been listening and my content's been speaking to you, my podcast speaks to you, and you really want to become someone who you are so impressed by, you make yourself so proud, and you are in awe of the results that you're getting in life, I want you to watch out for what's coming. And in the meantime, just grab the free resource that I have in the show notes for you guys. It's all about how did I really become someone who started following through, who stopped letting everything feel this hard and heavy process and like it was going to take forever to hit what I want. And instead, things started happening really, really fast. So grab that free resource in the meantime, but you're going to want to watch out for what is coming with this new offer. But without delaying any further, let's get into this episode. Okay, hello, my lovely people. I am really excited to talk about this one today because I think it's something that happens with a lot of people and it's not often spoken about. And so I just kind of want to address it. I want to talk about it so that you can walk away from this with some solutions, with some answers. All right, topic is if going after what you want feels heavy and hard, if the journey and things are feeling hard, or you have this lack of energy, it all feels heavy, you're not really having fun in the pursuit of your goals, we don't want that. Like we don't want that. We want to switch it up. I think something of honestly why people are very drawn to me, but also really love working with me and learning from me is because I make it look a lot of fun and I'm having a lot of fun and I don't follow all these rules. I think that ends up being a very magnetizing energy almost. And so I really wanted to chat on like, why is that maybe not happening for you? And not about the results, but more of like, why is it not feeling fun? Why is it feeling so heavy? Why do you have such a lack of energy? Why are you in these avoidance patterns? And keeping it super high level for this lesson, it's generally one of three reasons. What I want you to do is go get out a piece of paper, if this feels like you, and kind of write down what I say and reflect based off of it and see which one of like, is it 1 and 2? Is it 2 and 3? Is it just 2? Is it all 3? It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal if it is. It's just kind of assessing so that you can come up with more solutions for it. Let's dive in. The first reason why going after what you want feels hard and heavy is there's a lack of self-trust going on. When we are trying to take action from a place of not really trusting what we're doing, that's really hard. And what happens when we don't trust ourselves oftentimes is that we start looking to other people. We start following other people. We get ourselves into comparison. And when there's a lack of self-trust, there's always comparison going on. They go very hand in hand. But when you don't trust yourself and you're going after your goals, that's when it's like when you don't trust, you're looking left, you're looking right, you're looking at what other people are doing. And then you often start to try and emulate them or follow them, or you trust them more. It's bad to emulate, right? We don't want you to emulate in business, in careers, in creating content, any of that. But not that following other people and what has worked for them is bad, but it's where you get into trouble and where it starts to feel really, really heavy is that you're doing things that don't necessarily feel your way or feel good to you. And you're doing them because you don't think the way you want to do things is going to work. I got on a sales call the other day and someone was mentioning how they were doing like a bunch of different things to grow their business and get it off the ground. And one of those things was cold DMing and like cold outreach. And some people love cold outreach. Like they really, really do. And it works for them and it's great. But there's also a kind of person who like they just don't want a cold outreach. It's not an integrity with them. And this was a person who it didn't really feel an integrity. And I told them, I was like, I have made, 7 figures in my 20s and I've never done a cold outreach. They were blown away. They're like, "What? Are you serious?" Right? And it's just like, if things are feeling hard and you're avoiding it and you're like, "I'm gonna go procrastinate. I'm gonna go avoid. I'm gonna go nap. I'm gonna go scroll social media. I'm gonna go do any task that I have to do other than do this one thing." Or it's just literally feeling hard. It's feeling like wet cement trying like, slogging through wet cement trying to do this. You're probably doing something that's out of alignment with you. And it's because you don't trust that the way you want to do it is gonna work. When that's happening, it's exhausting because you are constantly going to be second guessing yourself because you don't trust yourself. That's why. That's why it's hard. Your solution is to build self-trust. Your solution is to look at where am I trusting other people and doing what they said to do over what feels good to me. It's really looking at of like, what don't I trust? Do I not trust that I'm going to keep my word to myself? Do I not trust that the way I want to do it is going to work? Do I not trust that I'm like good enough to make this work? Like ask that, figure it out, find solutions. Then you need to work on your self-talk. You need to work on your self-trust so that you can get to a place where you're like, yeah, okay. I know I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. I know that my way is good enough. I know that how I want to do this is going to work and I'm going to figure it out. Like I trust myself to figure it out. And that makes the journey a lot lighter. Second thing is that if feelings are feeling heavy and hard, it's because you need to increase your capacity. Oftentimes, people want to tell me that they're doing too much. They're working so hard. They're working so hard. And if we really break down what they're doing, number one, it's often actually still a lack of self-trust problem. They're not actually doing so much, but they're mentally exhausting themselves. If you're mentally exhausting yourself, overthinking, second guessing, go back to number one, you don't trust yourself. But a lot of the times, it's not that you're doing too much. It's that you don't have the capacity to handle what you're doing. And what people will often do when it's feeling heavy and hard is just keep chugging along. They just keep letting it be hard. Whereas increasing your capacity would make it feel a lot easier. And oftentimes when things feel heavy and hard, what ends up happening? You don't get results. And then people have this, like, I totally get this way of thinking, but it's not going to work for you, where because things are heavy and hard and they're not getting results, they're only seeing, oh, I'm not getting results. I have to do more. Let me go do more. And then what happens? They try and do more and they either burn out, they can't handle it. They make it mean they can't, I couldn't do more. I couldn't handle it. So maybe this isn't meant for me. Maybe I'm not meant for this level of success. Or they just have an even deeper avoidance problem because they don't actually want to do more because they could barely handle what they were doing. A problem that happens with this as well, and you might logically be like, okay, that makes sense, but I really want you to emotionally think about this, and I think it'll blow your mind a little bit. People generally assume more responsibility means more stress. That taking on more responsibility is going to feel like you're taking on more. And it definitely will for a little period of time. But the truth is that taking on more responsibility can actually feel like less work when you increase your capacity. That is how you see people who have like 10,000 things on their plate and they seem really calm, cool, collected, and like it's no big deal. And you're like, they're just built different. Or like, how is she doing that? I actually got asked that this week. They're like, I don't know how you juggle so much and how you have a life and how you have fun and how you do this and that. It's like, yeah, because I've increased my capacity. The people who you're looking at who do that have higher capacities. That's it. And people, I think the other thing too is it's not like your amount of capacity is the amount of capacity. It's like some people have really high capacities in one area versus another area. right? Like, I think about my best friend. She has a very high capacity for, like, an endless amount of small talk with strangers, and I'm just like, "No, I don't have that. I really don't have that." I could train for that, but it's not as natural to me as it is to her. She can literally talk to a wall if she wanted to. So it's like, don't think your capacity in one thing is your capacity in everything. So I don't want you to think fixed about it. But the perfect example that I always use is that I have around, I don't know the exact number, but I easily have probably 70-ish clients right now. And there was a time where 6 clients felt like a lot. And I was like, how am I going to juggle it? There's so many things to think about. And it's like the fact that 60 to 70, I think it's 70 clients feels less than 6 clients is insane. And it's literally only because I've increased my capacity. It's not about you needing to do less necessarily or even doing more. It's about becoming someone who can handle more. And so instead of trying to take on more or lighten the load, it's like focus instead on growing your ability to handle it. That's what it is. And growing your capacity is often growing your capacity to be able to handle discomfort until you normalize that level of discomfort, and then it just becomes your new normal. So it's about increasing your capacity when things feel heavy and hard. Third thing, if going after what you want feels heavy and hard, it's because you don't believe that it's going to work anyway. You don't believe that you can get there. You don't believe in yourself. So all of our efforts will feel heavy because a big part of you thinks that your efforts are useless or pointless. And it feels heavy because you're carrying doubt the whole freaking way. And the thing is that what often happens is if you're taking action towards a goal, I'm a pretty big believer in the idea that there's a portion of you that believes. If you're taking action, a portion of you does very much believe, but the portion of you that doesn't believe is probably louder and heavier and where your focus goes. Because if we really don't think we'll win something or succeed at something, we won't go after it. Like I'm never going to run, like this is the most insane example. It's not a good one. But I'm never going to run for president. I'm not going to get it. Right? And I have no interest in it. That's the other thing. Is like you won't go after something that you don't have interest in, and you won't go after something that you don't believe you can succeed in. That's just like human nature. We're just not going to do it. But if the majority of you does not think or believe you're going to be able to reach your goal, and you put your ego down and you stop trying to like be the person who puts on the front, and you're just fucking honest with yourself. Deep down, if you don't believe you're going to reach the goal, every action is going to feel like you're dragging dead weight. And instead of you being fully in your actions, you're doing the actions, plus you're constantly questioning and hesitating and waiting for proof and not even fully committing and negotiating with yourself. That is the reason why actions feel heavy. And I have even watched myself go from a place of feeling like things are heavy and it's not working and blah, 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 and then just really reset the F out of my mindset. And I do the work that's in Audacious. I watch the videos in Relentless that set me straight. I do the things in my unlimited courses, right? I do my own work. I do my own process. And very quickly, you can go from being things feeling heavy to being like, oh shit. Okay, I was just in my own shit. I see it. It's very possible. I believe in myself. Like I'm rooting back into myself. I'm grounded in myself. And you watch his actions that last week felt really impossible. All of a sudden you're like, okay, I got this. And then you keep building on that and building upon that. And suddenly within 2.5 weeks, if you really commit to that, you're good. You're easy, smooth sailing. Like I'm actually in that phase right now where I'm like, everything's really like moving. And that's when you get into momentum too. And the people who are like, I have a lot of people who come to me and they're like, I just want momentum. Like, I just want momentum. I just want momentum. It's probably you have one of these 3 things going on, which is why you don't have momentum. You can't have momentum because you're carrying a whole heavy load that does not need to be coming with you towards your goals. If you have this last one going on, my God, get into one of the courses. Like, get into my world. Stop tolerating it because it's not going to go away. And usually what people have tried to build their belief is really either temporary or surface level. It doesn't work. Okay? Going after what you want should feel fun. Going after what you want should feel like you are living a miracle, to be honest. And I have a video on Unlimited about this, where it's like, it's specifically like, if you are a woman running a business, you're kind of living a miracle. Like, if you're succeeding in doing it, wow, even better. But it's like the fact that I'm gonna switch it up for a second. If you are blessed enough and privileged enough to be able to go after what you want, if you even have like if we think about like businesses and how you need social media or you want to create content or you're even able to be in like a invest in yourself, invest in your growth, you have a level of privilege and you are blessed in a way that most people in the world aren't. And it's like, it's a miracle that you get to go after your goals. And it should feel like it. It should really, really feel like it. Like, I think about the fact of like, my grandpa's first language was not English. Moved to this country and had to teach himself English. My mom, next generation, like my mom and I talked the other day and I made a piece of content on it, but my mom was telling me a funny story the other day of like, she didn't step on a plane the first time. She didn't have the money to step on a plane the first time until she was my age. And she was telling me how she like didn't know what to bring or what to do. And like she packed as if she was going on like a 45-day trip. But it's like the fact that that was going on and then I'm here doing this, it's like, wow, the fact that I can go after my dreams is a miracle. But a lot of people aren't doing that. And they're not doing that because they're in scarcity. They're not doing that because they're in lack. They're not doing that because of fear and doubt and shame and this lack of self-trust and this lack of capacity. We have to address this. When you address this, going after your goals is going to feel a lot lighter. You're going to be a lot happier. You're going to feel a lot more confident and you're going to be able to succeed faster. It's not like it shouldn't feel this heavy. And even when you have pressure on you, even when you have actual like real life weight on you, even when things like they're dependent on you, that it can exist. There is duality where that can exist alongside you having it feel like this journey of growth, like this journey where it gets to feel good, where you get to be disciplined and relentless and confident and trust yourself and have some faith in it all. And that's what I want for you. Because I promise I've lived both sides. I really have lived both sides. And it is so much better when it feels lighter and things go so much faster and you have so much more momentum. And it just feels like you can do laps around the version of yourself where it felt heavy and hard for. Think about this stuff. This is what I want you focusing on. And this is where you really need to work on to get yourself to the place where you're wanting to be. All right, guys, I hope you loved the episode. Thank you so, so much for listening. If you haven't already, go snag my free guide on how to become someone who follows through every single time in the show notes. And again, something is coming. I have a new offer coming. It's going to be right up your alley if you love this episode. We are going to make you into the most confident, disciplined, committed, proud version of yourself who literally always lives up to their standards, who always follows through, who makes themselves so, so, so proud time and time again on repeat. If that's the vibe, if that's what you're ready for the last half of 2025, just keep watching this space. You're going to want to be one of the first people in what is about to drop.